Fomatic, built from tragedy, made for static. It's your boy, Perpetrator Podcast, back with the blast, in and out with a dash. 2025 won't last, so we're going to get this done with a blast. Oh, man, Monday morning. We back in the building so much. Oh, man. Monday morning. Verdict watch. D, the I, the D, the D, the Y is Diddy. It's Diddy. Come on, y'all. Everybody at home, let's go, man. The D, the I, the D, the D, the Y is Diddy. It's Diddy. We doing a verdict watch this morning, man. Everybody tap in, man. Let me tap in. We doing a verdict watch this morning, man. Live verdict watch, legal analysis. Diddy, D-I-D-D-Y, Diddy Sean, DIDDY Combs, legal analysis, live, Perpetrator Podcast with the blast. Thumbs up as you come in right now. Hit the thumbs up, double tap, like, share, subscribe. Go ahead and share the video. Let everybody know what's going on. Go ahead and get it out there, man. That's what we're going to do right now. Don't forget to double tap, like, and share the screen. And we're going to have a conversation. Who want to join? Who want to talk about it? Who want to talk about it? Double tap, thumbs up. Who want to talk about it? You could join the podcast today. Who want to disagree or agree? We're going to talk about the closing arguments. We're going to go over the whole case because I've been doing my research. If you didn't know, we've been following the case the whole entire time. So what we do here is counter narrative. So it's been very difficult for myself as a person who is wanting Diddy to be found innocent to find any counter narratives out there. The narrative is very thick right now. The narrative is very thick right now. What we have in closing arguments is everyone is focusing on the fact that the defense chose to not call any witnesses. Can we say it exactly for what it is? What's up? Who is that? Little Miss Humbler. Hey, how you doing? Let's say for what it is. The defense chose to not call any witnesses after they successfully put in a petition which made the prosecution drop like 5 charges. Basically, the defense, before we even went into closing arguments, shut down the RICO charge. The RICO charge is out of here. In any legal analysis that you watch right now, they will admit that there is no RICO. Any legal analysis that you watch right now, they will say Sean DIDDY Combs possibly may be found guilty on one of the other charges, right? But any legal analysis worth their weight, because they don't want to put their reputation on the line, is saying they didn't prove the RICO. Double tap, hit the like, hit the thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe as you come in. Double tap, hit the like, share, and subscribe, share the show. Nobody will say who came in so far. Beanie Garrison, what's up, Beanie? Bush came in, Skeletor came in, Bush Camp Xbox. Man, what Xbox do you got? Xbox 5. Beanie Garrison said, Celente said, I have faith. Okay. So let me know right now. So what really happened was there was a motion put in by the defense where the prosecution dropped several charges. If you listen to all the legal analysis over Sunday morning, the Sunday morning legal pundits, and today, no one is admitting what actually the 4D chess that actually took place in the courtroom. You never hear about number one thing that they haven't discussed is that the prosecution tried to make a deal. Y'all remember the prosecution tried to make a deal? I have an Xbox X. Shout out to you, Bush. The prosecution, number one, we need to talk about. The prosecution tried to make a deal. Y'all remember the prosecution? The prosecution tried to make a deal twice, and that wasn't accepted by the Diddy team because Diddy, just like YSL, y'all know Brian YS. Can we get YSL still is on the Diddy defense team. Can we get a shout out for Brian YSL Steele? Y'all remember Young Thug in the YSL RICO trial? What he brought to the table was a knowledge of the RICO, right? He brought knowledge of the RICO and what they needed to prove in order to get a RICO because Brian Steele just fought a RICO case and won. So what Brian Steele and the defense team did was put out a motion, right? Put out a motion that got several charges dropped. Those charges that were dropped will make it almost impossible for the jury to come back with a guilty verdict on the RICO. That's why you hear legal pundits today saying that we don't think that they'll charge or convict him of the RICO. But they're not telling you why they don't think he will get. Double tap, not enough likes, everybody. I need you to like the show. Let everybody know. Perfect Timing Podcast 5.0. They have not proved the case overall. I want somebody to disagree with me. My opinion, they haven't proved the case overall. What y'all think? Bush Camp Xbox said, thanks for giving me a shout out. For sure, man. Hey, I was an Xbox fan. If you remember in the beginning, Xbox had HD and the other people had Blu-ray. I love Xbox from the beginning, but you know what I'm saying? Something about the PlayStation team. Shout out to PlayStation, Activision. But check this out, though. What do you think about the Diddy case, Bush Camp Xbox? Who do you think is guilty in the Diddy case? Check this out. So number one, think about the timeline. We're going to present a timeline. Number one, because people keep saying, oh, they put on the case for 7 weeks. Everybody paying attention, remember that the prosecution asked for a deal. In the middle of the case, because what happened in the middle of the case? The Jay-Z lawsuit got thrown out. This started falling apart. If you remember, there were all types of reports. Diddy going free. No one is talking about today why all the media was about Diddy going free. It's because Tony Busby and the Jay-Z lawsuit. Let me break down the Jay-Z lawsuit. Do you guys remember that? Number one, it was a Diddy lawsuit. It was a Diddy lawsuit. You know why it was important? It was important because it involved a minor. There was a Diddy lawsuit that was accepted as true. People are forgetting about this. Tony Busby has sued Diddy. The Diddy lawsuit was accepted as true. It was so much accepted as a given that Tony Busby later added Jay-Z, added Beyonce, potentially J-Lo, right? But then that case got thrown out because they could not verify, and it turned out that they never did a lie detector test. Does anybody know if they ever did a lie detector test on Little Rod? Because a lot of this RICO case is based on a lawsuit by Little Rod. And I'm going to tell you today, I don't know who Little Rod is. You don't know who Little Rod is. None of us know who Little Rod is. We didn't learn who Little Rod is until the Diddy case, until the lawsuit. None of us know who Little Rod is. None of us knew about Tony Busby and the lawsuit. That lawsuit got thrown out. They did not validate that lawsuit. They never did a lie detector test. Have they done a lie detector test on Little Rod? Who is Little Rod? What does he have to gain? No one ever verified Little Rod's story, but they ran with it. Number one, they said 1,000 bottles of beer on the wall. No, I'm sorry, 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Remember the DA came out and said 1,000 bottles of baby oil. There was nothing to do with 1,000. It never came into trial. It's no relevancy other than somebody personally, when they had their own personal sex. And I thought that we learned to be tolerant. I thought that we've become tolerant of people's sexual preferences. All we heard about baby oil is that someone liked baby oil, but that's their own personal, but it was in the federal RICO indictment. It made people scared. It gave fodder for black jokes for whole months in a year. Every black comedian had a joke about baby oil because they included it in the indictment. But turns out when the evidence was laid out, nothing about baby oil. Double tap and like the screen. Double tap the screen to like the show. Let everybody know. Subscribe. Perfect Timing Podcast with the blast in and out with a dash. RICO trial. Diddy watch live verdict right now. 1,000 bottles. We were all worried. We were like, what happened? How did he get 1,000 bottles of baby oil? Where did the 1,000 bottles come from? What is he doing with 1,000 bottles? Is he beating Cassie with 1,000 bottles? Is he waterboarding porn stars with baby oil? They said Drewski, listen to this. If anybody wants to laugh, but it's not a joke, they said Drewski poured baby oil, buckets of baby oil on the back and used the woman as a slip and slide. Woo! You crank that Soldier Boy. Drewski did the Soldier Boy on the back of because of so much baby oil. They implied that the baby oil almost was like nunchucks. It was like Diddy, this evil black man with a suitcase full of baby oil and a large phallus, and he coming to do something to your daughter. Watch out for Diddy and the baby oil. It's the baby oil bandit. He had 1,000 bottles. Oh my God! Oh no! Put him in jail! Put him in jail! He had 1,000 bottles of baby oil. 1,000. Why? Who counted? This is what I want to know. In the FBI at the DA office, who counted the baby oil? I want to know the name. Do an interview. Piers Morgan. Get the name of the person who had to count. 1 bottle of baby oil on the wall. 2 bottles of baby oil on the wall. 3 bottles of baby oil on the wall. And was it 2 ounces? Was it 4 ounces? Was it the 8-ounce bottle? Was it the Big Daddy baby oil? Was it 1,000 bottles of the Big Daddy lavender? Because the lavender is the best baby oil. Did you guys know that? The lavender, which one do you like? I always like the lavender because there's something about lavender baby oil, lavender baby powder, talcum powder. Give me the lavender. Was it lavender? Was it 1,000 bottles of lavender baby oil? Double tap and like the screen. I need to know who counted. I want to see the receipt. I want to see the New York office tell me who counted 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Jordan said, Diddy is guilty as sin. Tell me why he guilty as sin right now. Yo, bro, get to the point, to the facts. They said there was 1,000 bottles. Where is that in the case? Why was that included in the federal indictment? That's taxpayer money. Do you understand how this works? Me and you pay for this prosecution. Me and you, so that the feds come up and say he had 1,000 bottles, and they scare you. They scare your daughter. They scare women and think that there's something nefarious going on with someone who owns this much baby oil. That's my point. That's my point. What's the illegality of having but they made it. Okay, right now in the chat, somebody define freak off. Can you define a freak off? Because Mark Garrigo said there was never any freak offs. What this whole case was about, the videos that the jury saw was sex, consensual relationship, 2 to 3 people. Every video was maybe 3 people. There was never a party. The Drewski lawsuit was thrown out. In the Jay-Z Tony Busby lawsuit, what you have is an example of what people thought a freak off really was. Jordan said, what about all the sus behavior with Justin when he was a minor? That is not fact. This is not fact. Because you use a term called sus, this is a criminal trial where people, and Justin Bieber never testified. Hello? Justin Bieber never testified, and Justin Bieber has never gone on record saying that Diddy did anything nefarious. So don't bring in conjecture. We are having a real legal analysis. So you can't just bring in what you heard on the internet. You have to qualify your statement. That's why everybody can't have a podcast, because certain people will say things on the microphone that don't have any validity, and you cannot qualify. Oh, he did sus behavior with Justin Bieber. You probably weren't even born. Can we have a real conversation? You probably weren't even born when so-called sus behavior took place over 20 years ago, just to be honest with the facts. So that's why that's not valid in today's conversation. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's only guilty of being a perv. Thank you. He's only guilty of being a perv. That ain't illegal. Who is that? Who's that? T-off77. T-off. T-off. Double tap and like the screen. Share the show. Share the show. Double tap. Oh, Cino back in the building. Cino, you better be good, Cino. Hey, Cino, you was on timeout, Cino. You better be good, Cino. You better be good, Cino. Hey, shout out to Cino in the building. Cassie's words, I love our path. That's what Cassie said. Now let's get back to it. Let's do a timeline of events of when the case started to fall apart. The case started to fall apart when the Tony Busby lawsuit got thrown out. Do you understand? Double tap and like. I need more likes. We need more likes. Like the show, double tap and like the screen. Share the show, let everybody know. The Diddy case began to fall apart when the Tony Busby lawsuit got thrown out because we all believe that the freak off looked at a certain way. They said Jay-Z was there, Beyonce was there, potentially the Jane Doe was J-Lo. So we saw a celebrity party. In my mind, they said freak offs, 1,000 bottles of baby oil, white party. Okay, I'm seeing a bunch of celebrities and people involved in sex acts that they don't want to be involved with. But that wasn't true. They disproved there never was this celebrity sex party. Amber Rose said it never happened. Ray J, it never happened. Everybody is saying these things never happened. What happened is Diddy and Cassie like to have experimental conjoining, and sometimes they would invite friends and videotape it. That was a personal thing. That's not a freak off, and it was not fair to say 1,000 bottles of baby on the wall and coin the term. The only reason we know freak off is because of the federal indictment. They included okay, two things we want from the feds. We want who counted the 1,000 bottles of baby oil. We want to know the name of the person who counted the 1,000 bottles of baby oil, and what is a freak off. Tell us, what is a freak off? Because we don't see a freak off. We see two people in love. Cassie admits that she loved Diddy. Diddy admits that he loved Cassie. We see two people in love in their own personal thing. What if Diddy is bi, or what if Diddy likes men? I thought you want me to be tolerant. So I need to be tolerant of Diddy and Diddy's choices. Not only tolerant, but respect him. Not only respect, but I still love Diddy despite his choices. That's what we learned in all of these protests in LA, everywhere, is tolerance. But for some reason, there's no tolerance when it comes to Diddy and his choices. Diddy doesn't get to have the same freedom of choice that every other American is fighting for right now. So there's no tolerance when it comes to Diddy. So we learned from the Tony Busby lawsuit that Jordan said Diddy on security detail even revealed the truth. Bruh, he was there. First-hand witness was you were all going down. The MF, you just believe in hearsay as I am. Okay, let's speak to the security. There was another remember the Drewski lawsuit? The Drewski lawsuit involves Big Homie, the security. So I debunked the Drewski lawsuit. Me, you know how, listen to this. There's a coffin nail. You know how I debunked the Drewski lawsuit? Because I read it here on my channel, and I'm from Northern California, Bay Area, and I'm reading the Drewski lawsuit. It said Drewski poured baby oil on the back of a woman, and you cranked that soldier boy and slid on her back. It said Odell Beckham caught Drewski, because who else gonna catch his fat ass? Because Drewski weighed 400 pounds. So Drewski slid on her back. Odell Beckham caught him like a baby. Odell Beckham caught Drewski like a baby, and then they was in the backyard. Diddy was there, Jaguar Wright was there, Big Holmes was there. So I'm reading the lawsuit, and I say, and it says, this all took place in Orinda, California. And I said, wait a minute. I said, Orinda, California? I'm from San Francisco Bay Area. I drive through Orinda all the time. How many people reading this lawsuit actually know where Orinda is? Orinda is a microscopically small suburb of an Oakland suburb. It's extremely small, it's extremely tight-knit, and it's extremely affluent. If anything took place like this in Orinda, where you have multiple celebrities, Odell Beckham, Drewski, Jaguar Wright, Diddy, you know how many limousines that is? You know how many Sprinter vans that is? Do you know everybody in the Bay Area would know if those people were in Orinda because of the culture of the town? I debunked that lawsuit. That never happened. You know why it never happened? Because Diddy, Odell Beckham, Drewski, Jaguar White were never in Orinda at the same time. And none of you even know where Orinda is till right now. Go Google on your Google map. Do you know how far Orinda is from LA? None of these individuals live in Orinda. It is not remotely near anywhere where Drewski lives, Odell Beckham, Jaguar Wright, or Diddy. No one lives next to Orinda. I debunked the lawsuit. Have you ever heard about it again? Did you ever hear about the Drewski sliding? You crank that, double tap the screen and like. Thank you for everybody who watching right now. Loren No said hi. T-Off77 said, I agree. All vile doesn't mean criminals, though. C-No, I've hit people I love before. C-No, what are you doing? C-No, I said be good in the chat. C-No, what are you doing? C-No said, C-No woke up and chose violence today. Oh, my God. Okay, back to my point, bro. Back to my point. Orinda, California is in Northern California. It's a very small suburb. Odell Beckham, Drewski, and Diddy never were in Orinda at the same time. Do you understand? I debunked that lawsuit. But the problem, the picture I want to paint for you guys is this is what I thought and you thought a freak-off was. This is why that lawsuit exists. But that's not what Diddy is on trial for. I thought a freak-off was Drewski doing the banana slide on the back of a bitch. That's what I thought a freak-off was. But that's not true. That's made up. But Odell Beckham, damn, don't that sound like a freak-off? That is what a freak-off is in my mind and your mind and everybody's mind. Odell Beckham is there. Drewski is there. Diddy is there. Big Holmes is there. Jaguar Wright is there. And there's a beautiful woman smothered in baby oil, and we are doing body slides on her back. That sounds like a freak-off, but it wasn't true. Okay, let's go to Texas. Jay-Z is there. Beyonce is there. J-Lo is there. Diddy is there. And there's an underage girl, and we're all having sex with her. But it turns out that wasn't true. But in our minds of the American people, that sounds more like a freak-off than Diddy and Cassie and Diddy being someone who is a purveyor. That is not a freak-off. That is consensual relationship, and we should have never known about it. We should have never known about it. We should have never known about it. So the Odell Beckham and Drewski never happened. Jay-Z and J-Lo never happened. The freak-off, 1,000 bottles of baby oil, never happened. That is when the Diddy case first started to crumble. The Diddy case first started to crumble there. When everybody had to look at the Tony Busby Jay-Z lawsuit, and everybody had to look at the Drewski lawsuit. And as we saw those lawsuits crumble, that is when the Diddy case lost its fervor. That's when the Diddy case began to fall. That's when the public started to wane. That's when the public started to look at this with a certain eye. Everybody, before 6 months ago, I couldn't say these things because I would get ate up in the chat. Do you know why I'm not getting ate up in the chat? It's because of the Tony Busby and the Drewski ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. It's ludicrous. I think it's absolutely ludicrous. These lawsuits were absolutely ludicrous. And because the lawsuits were ludicrous, now people, when I say Diddy is innocent, now people have to agree. Now people have to question, what actually are we watching here? Because we are finding out lie after lie after lie, and we're learning that they haven't even tried to even validate their narrative. They made up a narrative and threw it at the wall. They said 1,000 bottles of baby oil. They said celebrity sex parties. They said all these things turned out not to be true. Now, okay, that is how the case began to break down. Let's get to this week. So, okay, Cassie got on the stand pregnant. That was marvelous. It was all women prosecutors. Think of double tap the screen, hit the like button, double tap the screen. And while you at it, hit the subscribe, because we do this every day, all the time. Perpetrator Podcast with the Blast. It was all female prosecutors. It was an all-female prosecution. All white female. Single white female. And the decision, listen. The decision of the all-female prosecution team was to put Cassie on the stand pregnant. Come on, everybody. Are you listening? Are you paying attention to the political theater? How many times did you hear on TMZ? How many times did you hear all-female prosecution team? So the all-female prosecution team chose to put Cassie on the stand pregnant. She's not pregnant now. They could have put her on the stand at a different time. But for some reason, can anybody in the chat tell me why the all-female prosecution team chose to put Cassie on the stand, 9 months pregnant, ready to pop Papadopoulos, Papadopoulopa? What the Halliburton? What the Helly? What the Halle Berry? What the Cassie Ventura? Come on now. 9 months pregnant. Hold on. Goop Gap says say hi. And 33, how do you say your name? Kona Dime Time, guilty. Just say it once, bro. And tell me why you think he's guilty. Political theater is absolutely right. Why did an all-female prosecution team put Cassie on the stand 9 months pregnant? Because they knew what was coming. Because they both have to share evidence. See, a lot of people talk about juries and stuff, and they don't tell you the whole thing about this legal process. So the prosecution knew what was coming. The prosecution knew that the defense had these text messages, right? The prosecution knew that the defense was going to put on the truth. See, look, the prosecution is putting on a narrative, which is not the truth. Diddy is innocent until proven guilty. And I'm going to go back to the New York office and their narratives. I'm going to go back to that. The prosecution is trying to prove their narrative, right? Because the trial is now, and she happened to be 9 months pregnant. No. It's political theater. See, the prosecution knew that text messages would come out about Cassie being the queen pin, Cassie threatening violence, Cassie being in love, Cassie maintaining relationships with these outside men in order to garner favor with Diddy. See, which they didn't see, the text messages were not just between Cassie and Diddy, but the messages were Cassie maintaining a relationship with these outside men. Why? Because she wanted to have favor with Diddy. Did you guys even catch that? And when these outside men did not do what Cassie asked, Cassie is on record threatening physical violence to who I would call her. Cassie had prostitutes. If you look at the case for what it is, see the narrative New York wants you to believe is that Diddy made Cassie be a pimp. Who believes that? The narrative is Diddy made Cassie be a pimp, and Cassie pimped out these other men. Because that's the record. Cassie paid the men, Cassie maintained a relationship. Do you remember when one of the guys got on the stand and he said he texted Cassie and told Cassie, you should break up with Diddy, I will help you? Do you know what that told me? It told me that Cassie had an intimate relationship separate from her relationship with him and Diddy and all three of them. There was a personal relationship between this person who New York wants you to believe is a sex worker. That's not a sex worker. Do you understand? It's not a crime if this guy is not a sex worker. So sex workers don't text the people who pay them and say, you should break up with him, I'll help you. That's not an employee-employer relationship. You understand what I'm saying? That's not an employee-employer relationship. Do you understand? That's not employer and employee. That is fucker and fucky. They're in a relationship, bro. There's a couple paragraphs. Let's read these paragraphs. Bluegrass said also drugging and R-word, threatening people and threatening career is called Rico. Learn the law. The links to the money. So Bluegrass, I'm glad you brought that up because we were talking about why, before we brought this up, we were talking about Brian YSL Steele and how he handled that bullshit Rico by a similar DA. See, it must be a lot of Democrats in the chat because Brian Steele went up against a similar Democratic liberal DA office in Fulton County. Woo! Overcharging liberal Democratic DA office, Fannie Willis in Fulton County. Woo! All-female jury. Do you know this same office is the office who took Jonathan Majors and took a misdemeanor and made it 3 felonies? This is the same office that took Donald Trump misdemeanor and argued to make it 36 felonies. To this day, you can't explain to me how they did that. Double tap and like the screen. It's not enough likes. I don't have enough likes. Double tap, like, and share the show. This is the same liberal Democratic New York office who prosecuted Donald Trump. And if it were not for Donald Trump winning the election, he would be under the jail because they took a misdemeanor, a paper crime, a misdemeanor by all accounts in New York law. It never had occurred. And they argued that a misdemeanor should be 36 felonies. And they charged and convicted the sitting president of 36 felonies when it was a misdemeanor paper charge. Meaning he signed something, and every time that law, you typically don't get prosecuted, but anytime it came to court, it's a misdemeanor. But they argued, they presented a fantastical narrative like they did with Jonathan Majors. We saw Jonathan Majors born from that woman, but this same New York office created this fantastical narrative that somehow Jonathan Majors was the reason why she chased him. What? And that was a misdemeanor. And they argued that that should be a felony and ruin Jonathan Majors' career. This office is the office that charged the basketball player with a felony when his wife said it wasn't a felony. Do you understand this DA said we want to throw up in the air and let the jury make the decision? Do you know what you're talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. So let's get back to that. Let's get back to what he said. He said the arson and all that. So YSL Steel wrote a document and they dropped the charges. YSL Steel came on the Rico case, and the reason the defense put on the defense they put on, similar to the YSL case in Fulton County, is because before we even got to closing arguments, YSL Steel submitted a document that made the prosecution drop 5 charges. This ain't no real case. They tried to do a deal midway, just like with Young Thug. Do y'all remember? They tried to do a deal midway. That didn't work because Diddy knew he was innocent. Then right before we go to verdict, right before we go to closing arguments, they were forced. Anybody understand that they didn't do that on their own? They were forced by the defense. YSL Steel filed a document to the judge and said they have not proven these charges. They have not proven the arson, homeboy. They have not proven the extortion, homeboy. So before we went to closing arguments, they dropped 5 charges. That's why today, when you listen to any legal analysis, they are going to say, we don't believe they will find him guilty on the RICO. But they're not telling you why, because they want a narrative to prevail. They want a prevailing narrative, so when they railroad him, they can justify these illegal irregularities. You understand what I'm saying? They are creating a narrative. But the truth is, the case started to fall apart with the Tony Busby, Drewski lawsuit. It continued to fall apart, so they offered him a deal. Then they muddied the internet, and you can't even find the plea bargain. All we know is Diddy turned it down. You need to understand what really took place. Everybody, oh, the defense team didn't do this. The defense team didn't have to. They just offered Diddy a deal. You at home, you don't know the deal that they offered Diddy. They just offered Diddy a deal. You don't know the deal that they offered Diddy. They just offered Diddy a deal. The defense team turned it down. Y'all remember that, right? We couldn't find it. It's not on the internet. I thought Thug was free. So how did he lose? I didn't say Thug lost. You talking to somebody in the chat? I'm talking about YSL Steel. Brian Steele, the head lawyer for Young Thug, is on Diddy's defense team. And YSL Steel is eerily familiar with these RICO charges at the state level. And YSL Steel is the reason why the prosecution had to drop 5 charges. Woo! And why Diddy won't be found guilty of a RICO. Diddy will not be found guilty of a RICO. And YSL Steel is gonna go down famous. He gonna be like the next Johnny Cochran. Everybody gonna want to hire Brian Steele. Brian YSL Steele, because Brian YSL Steele is what got Diddy out of the RICO. He understood these state RICO charges and he knew the predicate acts because Fannie Willis overcharged. Fannie Willis overcharged. Liberal, Democratic, taxpayer money wasting. So Brian Steele got familiar with the process of how the math, see, it's math. Have you guys been listening? You got to find them guilty on these two predicate acts in order to find them. And if you find them guilty of one, in order to find him guilty of a RICO. See, Brian Steele understands the math. Everybody is in their feelings. Get out your feelings. Get out your fee-fees. This ain't about your feelings. It's about facts. It's about evidence. It's about the math. And Brian Steele understands the math of the RICO and how you add up to a RICO guilty verdict. So Brian Steele filed paperwork and the prosecution was forced to drop multiple charges, which would have confused the jury and may have led them to a RICO charge. Now, after YSL Steele does his 4D chess, baby, the opposite is true. Now it's almost impossible pathway to RICO. Before, there was an inevitable pathway to RICO. After YSL Steele, there is no pathway to RICO. No pathway to RICO. And it's not because Diddy's money, like people are saying in the chat. It's because Brian Steele understands the math of the RICO, and some of you not. You and your feelings by yelling at the camera, Wayne Logan with his head down in his hand, crying like a baby, a little baby boy. Go get your mama, Wayne. Little baby Wayne. Little Wayne is in the chat crying with his head down in his hand. Everybody, let's give a big hug to Lil Wayne. Everybody reach out and get Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne need a hug. We love you, Lil Wayne. Everybody in the chat, give Lil Wayne a hug because he got his head down in his head crying because we spitting too much ism on here, man. Too much game, man. Too much of the facts, man. Wayne is in his head crying. Don't cry. Don't leave, baby. Don't leave. Oh, don't leave. I'm like, okay. Don't get mad. Bluegrass said, you're living in a dreamland. How am I living in a dreamland, Bluegrass? I'm presenting all facts. So you believe Drewski? You believe Drewski was backsliding? Huh? You believe Drewski was backsliding? Damn. You believe Drewski was backsliding? Huh? Come on, Wayne. What y'all believe? Y'all believe Drewski was backsliding? What you believe? You believe J-Lo, Jay-Z? Who else was in the room? Beyonce? All was in the room with a minor? What do you believe in? This is the thing about the line that people draw. What do you believe and what don't you believe? Do you understand where I'm coming from? I'm not trying to be like glazing on Diddy. I'm trying to, this is real facts. What do you believe and what don't you believe? Do you believe Drewski did a slip and slide on the back of a woman with Odell Beckham catching him? Or do you not believe that? Do you believe the defunct Jay-Z lawsuit that Jay-Z, J-Lo, do you believe? Because a lot of people say Jay-Z bought his way out that lawsuit. Jaguar Wright says, Jaguar Wright says Jay-Z bought his way out that lawsuit. So do you believe Jay-Z, Beyonce, J-Lo, and Diddy were involved in the freak-off? What do you believe and what don't you believe? Because if you don't believe those two things happened, who he was sued for and accused of, my next question is, do you believe Little Rod? Do you know who Little Rod is? Did Little Rod have a lie detector test? Because with the JC lawsuit, what we found out is that Tony Busby did not properly validate and she never had a lie detector test. And then Tony Busby said he got her from somebody else. So Little Rod, who we never have heard of, some of you are just now remembering that, oh yeah, Little Rod was mentioned by the DA. Little Rod was mentioned by the feds. The Little Rod lawsuit is part of this RICO. who is Little Rod, and did they have a lie detector? Do you know all of the Diddy lawsuits he hasn't been found guilty of any lawsuit. The Little Rod lawsuit has not been concluded. He's waiting to the end of this trial to finish his lawsuit, even though he filed it before this. So the Little Rod lawsuit has not moved forward. Some of the lawsuits have been thrown out, just like the ones with Jay-Z and Drewski, they just been thrown out. So this whole case, do you guys understand the math of this case? The reason we get here is because of Little Rod's lawsuit. We get here because of the Tony Busby lawsuits. This was what was said by the DA in New York. I said this in the beginning because they did it to R. Kelly. They attempted to do the same thing to Jay-Z. So first they filed these elaborate lawsuits. In the lawsuits, they named predicate acts. Are you guys listening? I said, there's math to this. And the way it went is they had people you never heard of file lawsuits. In the lawsuits, they alleged predicate act. They just didn't simply sue Diddy. You have to understand that the architects, because think about Baldoni and Ryan. Baldoni, who watches Candace Owens? As I get into this, who watches Candace Owens? Do you know about the Baldoni lawsuit with Ryan and how they lied about the SA on the movie set because they were trying to steal the movie? And then they had their friends in media and people like Taylor Swift help them. Oh, wait a minute. They had people who own Vanity Fair magazine create a narrative. And now the lawsuit is getting thrown out because Candace Owens exposed the math behind how they create these narratives. So how do we get to a Diddy lawsuit and a Rico? It's the same thing with Justin Baldoni. They had a lawsuit from Little Rod. The Little Rod lawsuit included predicate acts. When I was reading it, I was saying, why is all these crimes? If you're going to sue Diddy, you can sue Diddy and win money. But for some reason, the Little Rod lawsuit wasn't just about money. It seemed to be about something deeper because it gave fodder for the feds to go raid his house. Y'all forget they raided his house based on what was said in the Little Rod lawsuit. I argue, like Justin Baldoni, that the Little Rod lawsuit was written in such a way to create the events that took place. The Little Rod lawsuit was created and written to create the predicate facts and the precursor to raid his house and charge him. But what did we hear when the New York office filed the claim of Rico? We heard about 1,000 bottles of baby oil on the wall. We heard about celebrity sex parties that they coined the term freak off. And then after that, we start hearing no Diddy. So 3 things happened with the New York office. The New York office created the term freak off. It should be illegal what the New York office did. The New York office said 1,000 bottles of baby oil on the wall. To this day, none of us know what a freak off is. The freak off is not part of the lawsuit. It turns out what's really part of the RICO is the Cassie domestic violence, which has has elapsed. Technically, they can't charge him with the Cassie domestic violence that we all hate. So they created a narrative and they are skirting the law. Cassie got justice. Cassie got 30 million. And Cassie was integral. Do you guys understand? The sex that Diddy had doesn't happen without Cassie. Diddy doesn't call the sex worker. Diddy doesn't call Cassie. Cassie calls Diddy because Diddy is a billionaire with multiple companies. When I read the lawsuit about Drewski, they were suing 9 of Diddy's companies. 9. Diddy Books, Diddy Movies, Diddy Music, Diddy Videos, Diddy Promotion, Diddy Marketing. 9 companies. So Diddy is not calling Cassie. Diddy's dating Young Miami. Diddy's dating 50 Cent baby mama. Do y'all hear me? Diddy is dating Young Miami. Diddy is dating 50 Cent baby mama. And he is sleeping with Cassie occasionally. Occasionally. So much so that Cassie was sleeping with all these men, including her trainer. The trainer, her husband, got sick in the courtroom because he didn't know how many people Cassie was sleeping with. Cassie's not calling, Diddy's not calling Cassie. Cassie calls Diddy. Hey, I miss you. That last freak off was great. I love our time together. Y'all wrote it in the chat. Y'all put it in the chat. Cassie is calling Diddy. Cassie keeps friends with those men so that when she calls Diddy, she can say, hey, we at the LA Mondrian. Me and your favorite is up here. Come swing by. Cassie is maintaining the relationship with the hotel. Cassie's maintaining the relationship with the boy on the side. Cassie has to maintain a relationship with Diddy. Cassie sets up everything because she wants to be in Diddy's good graces. How many times have we seen that? Did y'all see the Dylon interview? How everybody says all these negative things about Diddy but comes back and work for him? Diddy's not setting up the freak off. That white girl that they showed you, she's not being charged because she's not setting up the freak off. There is no 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 1,000 bottles of baby. It's not a factor. What there is there's a very strange relationship between Diddy and Cassie. Cassie, who was dating Ryan Leslie, who was 41 when she met Diddy. Cassie, who was a MySpace star. Why do you guys think Cassie is innocent? Double tap and like the show. Yes, she's the puppet master. Deborah Temple. Yes, okay. Do anybody know any celebrities? How about, do y'all remember Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears? Do y'all know what it's like? Do you ever met a teenage celebrity? We're talking about Bow Wow. Do you know what type of woman and person this is? Her parents, the type of parents you got to have to be a teenage celebrity for them to allow you to do sexually explicit music? Oh, we're not going to talk about it? We're not going to talk about it? Huh? Just me and you. This is a 17-year-old girl. We're not going to talk about it. Just me and you. Oh, just me and you. Just me and you. Me and you what? Me and you what? Can we have a talk? Are we going to talk about it? We're going to talk about it today because we have to talk about the truth today. Who she was, who rose her, why did they raise her? You know, there's an interview of a pimp talking about Kamora Lee Simmons and saying, because Kamora Lee Simmons is from the projects in LA. Kamora Lee Simmons is half black, and she come from that ism. And he's saying that Kamora Lee Simmons was raised to get men for their money. Y'all don't know who Cassie is. Y'all don't know who Cassie is, just like y'all don't know who Aaliyah was, and Aaliyah mama who signed the deal and sold her daughter to R. Kelly. Aaliyah mama was sleeping with R. Kelly, sold her daughter to R. Kelly, and signed the deal to get the money from R. Kelly. Y'all don't be knowing the truth. So Cassie is a teenager with a sexually explicit song viral on MySpace. Who produced it? Who wrote it? And who sung it? Who did the choreography? Just me and you. Just me and you in a leotard. And she's 17 years old. But everybody, they see the prosecution has to paint a picture that Cassie was this good girl narrative. And Diddy just plucked her out of the sky. And he was so mean with this evil black man with baby oil. Diddy came in with a black mask and a bag of baby oil, and he just perverted Cassie. No, Diddy didn't write Me and You. Diddy didn't do the choreography. Diddy didn't do the dress. Diddy didn't present Cassie as a sexually explicit artist as a teenager. Ryan Leslie, her lover, she was sleeping with a grown man at 17, but it wasn't Diddy. Woo! Hit the like button. We don't have enough likes. Too many people watching. We don't have enough likes. Everybody got to hear this knowledge. Double tap the screen, hit the thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. She had a 40-year-old lover who was an awesome music producer. Ryan Leslie turned out to be one of the greatest music producers of our time. Ryan Leslie, that was his girlfriend. He wrote the song. He created the image, the sexually explicit image of a 17-year-old gyrating, singing Me and You, and it worked. It worked. It worked, just like Bad Baby. It worked. Can we be honest with who we are as a people? See, we want to point the finger at Diddy. They want to point the finger at me. Can we be honest who we are as a culture? It worked. It's a hit. It's a hit. Bad Baby is a hit. Who was the girl? Sabrina Carpenter. It's disgusting. Sabrina Carpenter. It's disgusting, but it's a hit. It's a hit. The little girl got her hair being pulled on the record cover. She butt naked on Rolling Stone, but it's a hit. It's a hit. What's the drummer? What's the drummer? His daughter. She 18, 19. It's a hit. Travis Barker's daughter. What's her name? I don't even know these girls' name. I just know their children. And what does it say about the culture? Because it's a hit. They making millions on OnlyFans. But we want to say Diddy's the bad guy. Diddy's not making Bad Baby a millionaire. Y'all, come on, chat. Why the chat start moving? Why the chat start? I'm saying too much truth. I'm being too honest. What, too soon? Too soon? You don't want me to be honest, huh? Maybe because you follow Bad Baby on OnlyFans. Maybe because you follow Sabrina Carpenter on OnlyFans. Maybe because you know Travis Barker's daughter's name. I don't know her name, but maybe you know her name. So that's why the chat stopped moving. It's a hit. Let's be honest. Huh? Cassie was a hit at 17. Everybody who got this fake outrage, everybody drawing this fake line, you like that song. You made that song go viral. You're still doing it today. 17-year-old little girls are still being made to be sexually explicit today. And guess what, everybody? It's a hit. They making millions. Who is the bad guy? Who is wrong? Right now, there's a little girl on her knees with someone pulling her hair. That's the #1 artist. In 2025, we're not talking about MySpace. We're not talking about Cassie. I'm talking about in 2025, I saw a little girl on her knees with her the man's best friend. Ain't that? Come on, chat. Why y'all being quiet now? Man's best friend. Chat. Why y'all being quiet now? Why you being quiet now? Huh? When it's come time to put Diddy in jail, everybody happy. Everybody smiling when it come time to put Diddy in jail. But let's talk about the picture about man's best friend. This little white girl on her knees with her hair getting pulled. And the name of the album is that Diddy fault? Who going to jail for that? Is that, come on now. Y'all got so much outrage, so sanctified. Everybody is a goddamn priest in the chat. Why is she popular? That's the #1 artist. That's the #1 artist. Cassie was dating a 40-year-old man named Ryan Leslie when she met Sean Combs. Sean Diddy Combs was in a marriage with Kim Porter. Cassie was jealous of Kim. Cassie tried hard to get Sean. Cassie left Ryan. She was dating a 40-year-old man. Ryan Leslie is a great producer. That song was a hit, a platinum hit that got Cassie signed to Bad Boy Records. Ryan Leslie became one of the biggest producers of that era because he made that sound. But he was dating a little girl at 40 years old. He was dating just like Beyonce. Rest in peace. How old was Beyonce? How old was Beyonce? How old was Beyonce? So Aaliyah was dating a 40-year-old man. So the narrative that Diddy somehow created and made Cassie into this bad person is not true. Cassie's first hit was a MySpace song that was sexually explicit, produced by a 40-year-old lover. These are the facts, bro. These are the facts, bro. Cassie's first hit was a sexually explicit song produced by her 40-year-old lover, and it wasn't Sean Diddy Combs. That's who Cassie is. And guess what, you guys? That's who Cassie's parents is. Do you understand? Cassie's parents, just like Aaliyah's mama, gave her to Ryan Leslie, allowed her to make that sexually explicit song and sleep. Is this? I don't think my microphone is check. Mic check. Hold on. I don't think my mic. This mic. Hello. Mic check, mic check. Hello. Coming in, Booth. I don't know if I'm really on. Booth, can you turn me up, Booth? Because I'm dropping some real science and some logic, and I don't know if it's getting out there far enough, but I don't got enough people watching. Can you turn me up out there? I need this to get, get me out there, 1,000, 100,000, 1,000 views, 1,000 subscribers, 1,000 watch. We need 3,000 people watching right now. Can you turn me up right now? Because we dropping some science right now. A lot of the people watching don't even know what MySpace is. Let me get back to it. Thank you, Booth. Okay. Dude, how many people even know what MySpace is? How many people even know what Melissa said he's not defending him. He's saying there's more to the story, that Cassie was already dating older men. Thank you, Melissa. See, I just talked to the Booth, and the Booth just told me, hey, your old ass is talking about MySpace. That's what they said. Hey, you old as hell, old head. Old head, they don't know what MySpace is, old head. Thank you, Booth. The Booth just told me. So MySpace was the YouTube 20 years ago. Cassie was 17. She had a #1 hit. And it was called Me and You. It was talking about sex with an older man. She was 17. It was sexually explicit choreography. It was sexually explicit fashion. And the lyrics were sexually explicit. I don't know if you know that. You might not know who MySpace is. You don't know who Tom is. You don't know about the top 8. So Cassie was in the top 8. Cassie was one of the first viral artists before Bad Baby. What people don't talk about when they tell this story is that song was a great song, and that created a sound. Just me and you. When you hear the beat, it's unique. That's Ryan Leslie. He created that sound. He wrote the song. He created the whole package. He's a great engineer, a musician, and producer. That showed the whole world Ryan Leslie's talent. But he needed somebody that he could mold. And do you guys understand? Have you ever seen this movie when I was a kid with Robert Redford? It's called, it's about being a manager. Man, my mama made me watch that movie. Rest in peace, Mama Shirley. But it's a great movie. It's a great movie about being a manager. Robert Redford, great actor. Ryan Leslie needed someone he could mold. That means he needed parents. If she's 17, Ryan Leslie needed access. See, all the access you think Diddy, no, that Ryan Leslie did that. Ryan Leslie is the one who went to the parents. We don't never talk about Cassie parents, because this is all part of, I said to you in the beginning, Kim didn't have that kind of sex with Diddy. Young Miami didn't have that kind of sex with Diddy. Only certain women had that kind of sex with Diddy. The women with the proclivities. Rejoice said, I would like to know, dating older men means you should get beat up. I'm not famous, but I had my first child at 15, 16, dated a 29-year-old man, had 3 children with him. People do this. I'm not saying dating an older man means you should get beat up. I'm speaking to the narrative created by the New York prosecution office that somehow that Diddy created Cassie and made her into this queen pin, the person who threatened death. I understand. I grew up with a single mother. My prayers and blessing goes out to you, Rejoice. I'm not talking about great mothers and women like you. I'm talking about the narrative that Diddy somehow created the woman who threatened to kill the men who she was keeping as sex slaves. That's the part I'm talking about. They said the argument is, yes, Cassie did have text messages with these men. Cassie was violent. Cassie was over-sexualized, but Diddy made her this way. Diddy made her be this sexual predator. And I am arguing by her history, which is relevant in a court of law. If me and you friends in a barbershop, maybe not, but in a court of law, her proclivities and her ability to do this before meeting my client, Sean Diddy Combs, this bitch was a hoe already. This bitch was a hoe already. This bitch was a hoe already. That's what I'm saying. The prosecution is saying Diddy made her this way. I am telling my audience and anybody who will listen Diddy didn't make her this way. Diddy didn't even fuck with the bitch like that. Why does 50 Cent hate Diddy? Because Diddy was fucking Young Miami. Diddy was fucking 50 Cent baby mama. Diddy was fucking the other Asian bitch. And Cassie. None of them live with him. And he has over 9 companies and $1 billion. And don't forget the Ciroc deal, which we all know is the reason for this. So 9 companies and the Ciroc deal that made him a billionaire. He did not maintain relationships with Cassie. From the evidence presented, Cassie would call him. Hey, baby, we at the hotel. I got Big Daddy Dick over here and some baby oil come through. I said Cassie, and what we saw proven, Cassie maintained relationships with these outside men in order to garner favor with Diddy. So much so, see, they want you to say sex worker. But I said to you, the guy who they call a sex worker, text Cassie and said, hey, baby, you should leave Diddy. I love you. I'll treat you better. I'll help you leave him. Does that sound like employee-employer relations? These are real questions I'm asking you that the jury should be asking. If you're employer and employee, why is he calling you on a personal level? Why is he offering to help you get out of a relationship? What type of intimate arrangement do you and this man have? Then we see video and text of you threatening murder. Cassie, not Diddy, Cassie, the queen pin, threatening violence to maintain her organization. Because when Diddy want to party, I need to be ready. When Diddy want to party, I need to be ready. We haven't had a party in a long time. I love when we're together. We haven't had a party in a long time. Do you want to party? We haven't had a party in a long time. Diddy is not calling these men. Diddy's not threatening these men. Diddy's not paying these men. They're not sex workers. We're talking about 3 people in the room, maybe 4. Most of the time, we're talking about 3 people in the room. Diddy and the person that Cassie brought to the room. Woo! Can we be honest? Let's be honest. Diddy and the person that Cassie brought to the room that Cassie was gonna fuck. Cassie was gonna fuck him and Diddy was gonna watch. Cassie knows him, Cassie's comfortable with him, and Cassie is attracted to him. She has to know him, she has to be comfortable, she has to be attracted because Diddy wants to get off. It can't be a random. That's why dude was so comfortable to text her. Hey, leave Diddy, I will help you. I love you better. Leave Diddy, I will help you. I love you better. See, that dynamic existed between the two because when they had sex in front of Diddy, it had to look real. When they had sex in front of Diddy, it had to look real because it's for a reason. Diddy is trying to get off. It can't look fake. It can't be like that. So Cassie, anybody been with a woman? Is any women in the chat? I'm not saying she liked it, but women have to be comfortable. Women have to be comfortable. It has to smell good. It has to be clean. You have to be polite for a woman to open up her flower to the point where another person would interpret that she is enjoying herself. She may not have enjoying herself, but she needed to be in a situation with these other men that it would give off the appearance. That's what made her so cold. If you think about Cassie and who she really is, and real women in the chat who are married, break down the type of woman who could do this, who could give the appearance of when she's sleeping with another man and so-called claiming to be in love with Diddy. Now think about this. She's also plotting her marriage to her future husband, who she was pregnant by on the stand. So she's doing freak offs with Diddy, with a man who's asking her to break up with Diddy. Listen to my math. She's doing freak offs with Diddy, with a man who's asking her to leave Diddy. That's 2 men having sex with. At the same time, she's having sex with her trainer, who will eventually be the father of her child. Woo! Woo! Somebody stop me. What the chat got to say? A witness to what Diddy didn't do anything wrong. Trafficking what? Bogus charges. Diddy like being in jail. Trafficking humans. Is Craig Rico what? Thank you. That's Virginia Carter. Foxy is my fan. Shout out to Foxy. Look at Foxy in the chat. Deborah Temple. She liked this. Shout out to Deborah. C-Note being good. Thank you, C-Note, for acting like you and participating, giving up good commentary, paying attention. What's that? Virginia Carter. Put my spectacles back on. When, where, thank you, Virginia Carter, Danielle D. Linton, Pagans, bro. Oh man, Pagans is right. But Pagans is right. Pagans is right. I grew up with Jehovah Witnesses. And when you say Pagans, bro, I get that. Danielle D. Linton. Shout out to Daniel. It's Daniel, because that looked like a boy. Daniel, like Daniel in the Lion's Den. Daniel D. Linton said, Pagans. I agree. Yeah, I grew up with Jehovah Witnesses, man. So that stood out to me. I think God wanted me to read that message, Pagans. And then Deborah Temple said, nasty. Juror 25 already saying they're not following those bogus instructions. A. James said, so she's now happily married now, but she's a leader in this. Her husband left the courtroom. Everybody, her husband got his stomach. He got sick to his stomach because they gave the dates of some of these sex, and he realized that when she was putting the ejaculated semen on Diddy's, he was sleeping with Cassie. So it's one thing to be like, oh, Diddy did this to my ex-wife, but when you learn how she participated and what she did to keep him in good graces, and that you knew her at that time, he got sick. Her husband got sick. He had to leave the courtroom because he didn't hear, oh, Diddy beat her up, Diddy grabbed her, Diddy held her down. No, he heard stories of Diddy hiding in another room. Diddy hiding in another room, and his wife and mother of his children running in that room and doing all of this perverted stuff to Diddy. That's what he heard in that courtroom. It was sick, bro. He laughed, bro. He didn't hear Diddy did this and Diddy did that. He heard, bitch, you didn't tell me Diddy was in another room, bitch. Bitch, you didn't tell me you took the shit and then you went in the other room and then y'all had sex. And then you didn't tell me that. Why you just didn't tell me the truth? Imagine the conversation. She's 9 months pregnant, bro. Imagine the conversation when they got home. You did not tell me, Cassie, don't lie to me. Do not lie to me, Cassie. Cassie Ventura. Cassie Ventura Combs, do not lie to me to my face, young lady. You did not tell me that he was in another room and you took the finishings and you went in that other room and you did what you did. You did not tell me that, Cassie. Be honest. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm pregnant. I'm a baby. I didn't mean it. Come on, man. Okay. We talking about the conversation that Cassie's husband had with her after that day of testimony. It's infamous. That day of testimony is infamous. It's going to go down in history. All those perverted things that she did to Diddy, it's going to go down in history. So what I'm saying to you, what was the conversation? What did he say to Cassie when they got... Can you woo, woo, woo? Can you woo, woo, woo? Can you woo, woo, woo? On my mind, woo, 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 woo. Woo! What did he say, bro? What could you say? What could you say? I apologize. Believe me this day, I apologize. Oh, wait. What about Ruben Study? I'm sorry for 2004. I'm sorry for 2004. He said, I apologize. Believe me. Man, come on, man. What was she doing that night? What did she do for her husband? Come on, man. This is a cold. Come on, man. Any women in the chat? Let's see what the chat say. Foxy is my fan, says, see, no, Diddy is on trial. When are you going to accept that? Who is this? Vitani Dan. They were all in the freaky shit. They were all on the freaky shit. Thoracic Diddy done took this man's skin. I'm a Diddy clone. He said Diddy didn't. He said Diddy done broke out of jail. Diddy done broke out of jail and took my skin. That's what happened. Diddy done broke out of jail and he's a Diddy. So Diddy's a body snatcher. Diddy's a shapeshifter. He could go through walls and he's a body. Shout out to Diddy, man. I'll tell you, it ain't nothing that a black man can't do. When they want to find you guilty, like R. Kelly, who's illiterate, magically could read. But you a black man and they want to find you guilty, you get magical qualities. Did you know that? The Negro becomes magical in the courtroom. Did you know that? Diddy has magical powers of coercion. Me and you don't got that. Regular people know. No. Regular people know. But Diddy, the Negro Diddy, has magical powers over women. He has a magical penis. He has magical mental powers of coercion. But his life and the details of the events, so they told us he had magical powers of coercion. He had a magical Negro penis. But the trial said he was in the other room rubbing another man's stuff on him. That don't sound like a magical Negro penis. Okay, I'm just saying. Black men acquire magical attributes. R. Kelly. The bitch said, I was trapped in the closet. Then the black woman said, you were trapped in the closet? And then she said, well, I wasn't physically trapped in the closet. I was mentally trapped in the closet by a nigga who can't read. This a grown bitch. This bitch grown. She wanted the integral parts of the R. Kelly case. This bitch grown as could be. This bitch grown. She left her teenage daughter at home. Y'all remember the story? This bitch grown as hell. She left 2 kids. She left 2 kids at home. She did. She came back with a Benz. She left 2 kids at home. And the bitch wrote a book, said, Trapped in the Closet. And then she said, well, I wasn't physically trapped in the closet. R. Kelly in jail for the rest of his life. They took all his money. They did all this shit to R. Kelly. But the bitch said, I wasn't physically trapped in the closet. I was mentally trapped in Magic! Voila! I didn't reappear and disappear without a voila. I didn't reappear and disappear without a voila. Man, I'm telling you, to be Negro in America, man. So we magical at the same time we evil. That's why that movie Sinners is such a great movie. We're magical, spiritual, musically inclined, big phallus, all this stuff. And at the same time, these criminal, these deranged, depraved criminal proclivity. Like the boy Carmelo Anthony in Texas. Carmelo Anthony in Texas. Never been in trouble. I was a troubled youth. Carmelo Anthony don't have no proclivities to violence. But when a black man is charged, magic happens. Magic happens. There are black men on the internet calling Carmelo Anthony a thug and a hoodlum. Those men, it's so sad. I was on the honor roll. I went to a predominantly, you could probably tell by my vocabulary, my vernacular, how I present. I went to a predominantly white school in an affluent area. I was on the honor roll. To everybody listening to black men who are being negative about Carmelo Anthony, I promise you, none of those black men were ever on the honor roll. I promise you, to every black man who's on the internet saying Carmelo Anthony is a thug, I promise you, they've never been on the honor roll. They've never done the work. They did not take algebra in high school. I took algebra in middle school. My little brother took algebra in elementary school. I took trigonometry. I took physics and calculus in high school. I promise you, the black men who are saying Carmelo Anthony is a thug never took calculus in high school, never were on the honor roll, and never owned a Lexus, a foreign luxury car. To this day, I promise you, and Carmelo Anthony, three things. Carmelo Anthony, a star athlete, honor roll, and his parents bought him a Lexus. You don't hear about these factors because it would give it. Everybody says it's not racial. It's not racial. Those two white boys fuck with Carmelo because Carmelo was a rich black kid and he's not a gangster. He's a good victim. Carmelo is not me. Carmelo is not in the gang. Carmelo is not tough. Carmelo doesn't have a lot of black friends that can back him up. Carmelo plays football. He's on the honor roll and he's rich. He's a rich little black kid in a white neighborhood. And those two little white boys came from a single parent home. They dad don't own no Lexus. They don't own no Lexus. They're not on the honor roll. They don't have the kind of money to buy $1 million house. Why did that become a factor? Why did Carmelo's parents buying $1 million house become a factor? It was a factor that day when they fucked with Carmelo and they took his bag. Carmelo was a wealthy, rich black kid, a little skinny black kid on the honor roll, and he owned a Lexus. Everybody knew who Carmelo was because when you black in one of those areas and you're high performing, everybody knows who you are. Like everybody know who LeBron James was in high school. Everybody know who Carmelo Anthony is. He's on the news. He's one of only a few blacks who perform highly in school and on the football field, don't get in trouble, and he drives a Lexus to school. And all the people they asked to get out of the tent, they asked the rich little black kid. But no one is thinking about all this because the narrative is, oh, it's racism and Carmelo Anthony's a thug. Do you know how hard it is to be on the honor roll and play football? I did it. You have 2-a-day practices and you're a teenager. You got chores. Do you know how difficult it is to be on the honor roll and have 2-a-day practices and then be a star football player? That's not being talked about because no one who is talking to you about Carmelo Anthony has ever done it. The black men talking to you are fucking rejects. Most black men on YouTube are fucking rejects. They've never done it. They've never been a star football player and been on the honor roll, and their parents was not millionaires and had the money to buy them a Lexus. But my cousins, my uncle bought each one of my cousins a brand new car. Each one of he had 5 of them, he bought them each a brand new car in high school. So I lived that life of black privilege. And I know how you get treated when you have a brand new car in high school. Can anybody talk about having a brand new car, white or black? Being white or black. I hate this racism stuff where people interject race. It's not about race. Have anybody had a brand new car in high school? High school is mean in America. They are mean in high school. Some people hide in the bathroom. Some people hide in the gang. Some people hide in sexual orientation, but they're very mean in high school. They pick on you for being on the honor roll. They pick on you for being a star athlete. They pick on you when your parents buy you a Lexus. They call you rich kid. So out of all the kids under the tent, they come over to the athlete who's on the news with an honor roll GPA and a Lexus. They pick on you for being poor. High school is cruel. And I don't believe enough parents are involved in their children's life. When my son was in high school, they had something called a block schedule. This was only a couple years ago. My son was not doing well. So I went to the school. I took off work, went to the school, and I asked the teacher, I said, my son cannot retain math if he takes math on Monday and he doesn't take math again until Wednesday. You know what the teacher told me? This was a block schedule. I went to school. I took math every day. Do your homework, come back, learn it. If I got something wrong, the teacher help you. I'm at school. You know what the teacher told me? The teacher said, Mr. Perfect, I got lost yesterday. He said, I teach high school and middle school. This school has both 8th to 12th grade. He said, I'm confused about what I'm teaching some days. Because of the block schedule, I went to the wrong classroom. I'm talking to the teacher. I want to help my son do better in school. I'm talking to the teacher. The teacher said, Mr. Perfect, I got lost. I'm confused by the block schedule. I went to the wrong class. I got to teach 8th grade through 12th grade because this school, because it's poor in the inner city community, is both a middle school and a high school. I went there to cuss him out. I went there to be mad. I went there to be the big bad black father and say, teach my son. And I had to humble myself. I had to humble myself. He was fucking pissed. He didn't know what to teach. He didn't know where to go. He said, I don't know how your son gonna learn math. I don't know how your son gonna learn math because I don't know where to go. I'm teaching 8th grade and I'm teaching 10th grade. So I went to the principal. I said, this block schedule not gonna work. I just talked to one of your teachers and your teacher said he went to the wrong classroom. So how you gonna expect my son to be on time? Because in California, they put parents in jail if your students is not on time. So I said, how my son gonna be on time and the teacher don't know where to go? Kamala Harris, if anybody don't know, I'm a conservative, I'm a Republican. If you don't watch my channel, there's a reason why I'm conservative and why I'm Republican. Kamala Harris was putting black single mothers in jail. Kamala Harris was putting black single mothers in jail for students being late. So I went to the principal's office because I got a letter saying that they were going to call the police. So I had to investigate what's going on with the school. And I learned about a block schedule. Guess what? That block schedule was gone. Get involved, bro. When I say become politically advantageous, get involved, bro. Go to the school, vote. Vote in your local school board. Vote for who is the head of the school board. Go to the school board. Don't wait till they put a book in the library that you don't like. Did you hear what I said? Because we can get canceled. I said, don't wait till they put a book in the library that you don't like. Go and vote. You can vote on the board of education for your school. You can vote on judges. You can vote on the DA in New York, in Fulton County. If you don't like the liberal Democratic DA who creates these elaborate prosecutions that cost you money as a taxpayer, you can vote. Because at the end of the day, with Diddy, if there was a crime, why did we spend so much money on the Rico trial? If you guys knew from the beginning you couldn't prove a Rico, why did you gamble with my money? Maybe because it wasn't your money. Maybe because it wasn't your money. Why did you lie and say there were so many victims when there was only one victim? It was only Cassie from the beginning. See, they dropped the charges, the Kid Cudi charges. They dropped all those charges. We're left with Cassie. There's no Rico. There's no multiple victims. All we are left with is Cassie. So why did you spend my money? See, this is the thing. Everybody today in social media, you're caught up in the wrong thing. You're caught up in the wrong thing. And I'm here as an OG to give you facts that you need to understand. If they knew from the beginning, why did they spend your money? Why did they waste your time? Why did they take you through this emotional roller coaster? If there were never celebrity freak-offs, if J-Lo and Jay-Z and all these people never did all these bad things, but there are white men. But there are white men, like the guy from Abercrombie and Fitch, like Epstein, like the priests, like the Boy Scouts. When they created these Me Too laws, they told us about, did you know the LA Archdiocese paid out $1 billion? The Catholic Church in LA paid out $1 billion. Nobody went to jail. There was no drawn out thing that made Catholics look bad, that make black men look bad, that make black men look like they have sexual proclivities to do all these weird shit, freak offs and 1,000 bottles of baby oil. There was never that for the Catholic priests. The LA Archdiocese, Google it right now. You don't have to believe me, right? You don't have to believe me. You should know I am concerned about telling the truth because I care about the validity of my channel. But if you don't believe me, Google it right now. You know what I wanted to know? Where did they get $1 billion from? Just this one archdiocese. And how much money do the Catholics have if one archdiocese in LA has $1 billion to pay out? Does every city, does every archdiocese have billions? And why weren't they, when they told us about Me Too laws, because that's what's happening with Diddy and all these black men, they expanded the statute of limitations. You know, I was in the comments talking about Me Too laws. Do you know that black men are so ignorant? They think I'm being sexist. They are actually called Me Too laws. And it's so surprising to me because I think black men need to know this, but instead black men want to argue with me and sound smart and say, I don't know what I'm being sexist. I've done the research. I didn't make up the term. Me Too laws are what they are called. Google it. Similar to what I just said. Just Google it. I care about the validity of my channel, so I wouldn't just say it. They are in Texas with Tony Busby. They expanded the statute of limitations in California. They expanded this in New York. Cuomo. If you want to go to my channel, I hope all of you subscribe to my channel and watch. I have a video with Cuomo, who's running for mayor right now. He was governor. When he signed the law into law, then they kicked him out. I said, that's what you get. Because Cuomo signed a law, a Me Too law in 2024. A lot of these laws were passed in 2023 and 2024 while you were distracted by BLM. Remember the pink pussy hat? See, BLM, we didn't get no legislation. Black Lives Matter, we didn't get no legislation. Corey and Tim Scott, they dropped the ball. So that legislation got dropped. Kamala Harris, the other Democrat, what's his name, Corey, and then the Republican, Tim Scott, they dropped that legislation. But the pink pussy hat and the Me Too movement did get legislation. If you guys remember, I covered the Johnny Depp trial. In the Johnny Depp trial, they called this government agency to the stand and said, why did you write this story for Amber Heard? They said, we wrote the story for Amber Heard because we had legislation on the House floor that we wanted to get passed. I thought it was the biggest story of the last 10 years. The Johnny Depp trial was big for so many reasons. See, Amber Heard, just like with Diddy, just like with Justin Baldoni, it was all a farce. Amber Heard didn't write the editorial. That government body wrote it for her. And when she wouldn't sign it, they forced her. And they wanted Johnny Depp's name in it. She said, I will agree to it, but I don't want Johnny Depp's name in it. They made her put Johnny Depp's name in it. And she got made a fool of in court, and they left her hanging. They left her hanging. And when they asked in court, why did you write these lies and get them published in a famous paper? They did it because they wanted to pass the Me Too laws. See, the Amber Heard case was about domestic violence, but it was a lie. And when asked, why did you lie? They said, we want to pass. But no one asked, what laws? What laws did they pass? So they said, believe all women. Y'all remember pink pussy hats? Believe all women. This is about Cassie. This is about Diddy. But I need to give you a foundation because I believe they've underserved your generation. I believe they've underserved my audience. They said, believe all women. In this Cassie trial, that is paramount. Believe all women. So believe all women was a chant at protests, but underlying the believe all women chant was legislation. Legislation that I think undermines the constitutional rights of everyone. See, you are entitled to a fair trial. How does a trial remain fair if you expand the statutes of limitations beyond 20 years? See, that's what happened with the Tony Busby lawsuit. They brought a woman who was 35 years old, and they said Jay-Z and Diddy did something to her 20 years ago, but it was impossible to prove the facts. because it's impossible to prove facts 20 years after the event, which is why, ladies and gentlemen, statutes of limitations exist in the first place. It's to protect us. It's to make sure you get a fair trial. That's why statutes of limitations exist, because it does not become fair if you can go back 20 years to when someone was a fucking child and they can't recall what the fuck happened. It's unconstitutional. But this is what happened. While you were broke, while Biden was doing all that weird shit, in 2023 and 2024, they made laws that sensible people, even if you don't like Diddy, sensible people would say, that doesn't really make sense. Statutes of limitations up to 20 years does not make sense. It prohibits the ability to get a fair trial. Is it about guilt? Is it about justice? Or is it simply about believe all women, whether they're lying or not? Because when you expand statutes of limitation to 20 years, all you have most times is the word of a woman. Are we clear about what I'm saying? If you expand the statute of limitations to 20 years, most times the only evidence you have is the word of a woman. And what did they say? We want women to come forward. Fuck that. We want women to come forward. I want evidence. I want facts. We want women to come forward. What? That's contrary to the Constitution. You're undermining my rights. I'm innocent. What do you mean you want women to come forward about something that happened 20 years ago? Bitch, don't come forward, bitch. Bitch, go to the police when it happened, bitch. Get evidence, bitch. Don't come back 20 years later saying, I think I saw what and who, what, how, when, bitch. God damn. And you know what the worst part is? We all sleep. We sleep. We are cheering for Diddy to be found guilty. And we are asleep at the wheel. We don't know what's happening. These are real laws. Cuomo, look it up. He's running for fucking mayor right now. He signed this in 2024. That's the only reason why Diddy is going to trial right now. Do y'all got under? And then they took him out and they replaced him just like they were going to do Kamala Harris. If y'all want to know why they tried to install Kamala Harris, because they did it successfully in New York. The same way they said, we're not going to the Democratic convention. What? No one was going to vote. They were going to install her into the presidency because they were going to put Trump in jail. The same New York office. The same New York office. Listen, New York keeps coming up. New York, New York, New York, New York, New York. Pay attention, y'all. Cuomo was forced out. Cuomo, he didn't have to go through what Diddy is going through. Cuomo had the same allegations. Cuomo had the same allegations as Diddy. You know what they said? Step down. We won't prosecute you. Step down. Step down. We ain't having no election. We got step down. This woman is going to be the governor. Step down. Step down, Cuomo. We won't prosecute you. We got somebody who's going to be we install a female governor in New York. The deep state, they know they got motion. The deep state, they've been doing this shit, bro. They've been doing this shit. Muscle, mafioso. They took Cuomo and twisted his arm behind his back. Stepped down for being governor. The governor is the king of New York. The governor of New York is like, you know, when the emperor gives you to be the governor of California, the governor of New York, that's big shit because this is handling big dope, big money, big pussy, big gambling. The governor of New York handled big money, baby. The governor of California, the 5th largest economy. Step down. Step down, Cuomo. But before they made him step down, Cuomo signed. He signed legislation expanding statute of limitation, all women behind him. Them same women, just like Tyler Perry, stabbed him in the back. Them same women, just like Tyler Perry, stabbed him in the back. Tyler Perry ain't hiring me, black women. Tyler Perry ain't putting black men in the movie as the star. Tyler Perry keep hiring black woman after black woman after black woman, starring in his films, paying you millions of dollars. But what do the black women do? Stab Tyler Perry in the back. Woo! All them jobs, Tyler Perry wasn't good enough. Tyler Perry, them jobs you gave black women wasn't good enough. They said, fuck you. Well, Tyler Perry, you know what you should do? Don't hire no more. Don't hire no more black. Your next movies, Divorce Sisters had 3 black women leading ladies, all getting paid millions on the big screen. But black women didn't like that. Black women didn't. Do you know what you saw? This is what Kevin Hart was saying when Kevin Hart was like, man, black audience is fucking stupid. You're not seeing black fatigue. You're not seeing you are seeing 3 black women leading ladies starring in the film, and they lied to you to get you to hate a black man. Woo! I don't want to see Tyler Perry. I don't want to watch Divorce Sisters. So you gonna shit on a movie with 3 black female leads? You don't even watch the movie. You don't even pay attention to the movie. The movie with Taraji, that was a good film. You gonna shit on that movie? When it was all black women in the movie, black female lead, Tiana Taylor looking good. Tiana Taylor doing her walk. Tiana Taylor looking good. Everybody in the movie looking good. Let's poo-poo. Let's shit on the movie. When you shit on the movie, you shit on all those beautiful, gorgeous black female actresses who made a great movie. Instead of honoring all those black women who made a great movie. It's a fucking movie. It's a fucking fictional story. It's not fucking real, you fucking idiots. It's a fucking movie. It's not fucking real. So what if you triggering this your real life? Get your act together, bitch. Get your motherfucking act together, bitch. It's a fucking movie. So don't give props to all those black women. And it's a great movie. I watched it. Taraji, they in the bank. They doing great acting. You don't see what Justin Baldoni in that movie with the white bitch. They not acting like that. They ain't doing a good. Damn, they did a good ass job in that movie. They did a good job. And so Divorce Sisters follows that. 3 black female. That's not good enough. It's when you look at the poster. What you're supposed to understand when you look at the poster is what you don't see when the white man make a movie in Hollywood. That's why Tyler Perry created his own studio. That's why Tyler Perry went to Atlanta, so I can make movies and highlight who I want to highlight. So when you see my poster for my movie, who do you see? Only black. So it's so much to unpack that poster, Divorce Sisters, there ain't nobody else on that movie but 3 black people. And who are those 3 black people? 3 black women. What kind of black women? Gorgeous, powerful, influential. In a movie, it's a fictional movie, you stupid motherfuckers. But what is true is that those are 3 beautiful, influential black actresses who don't get that type of light. What do I mean? Being on the cover of a poster. Do y'all remember when the white boy got taken off of Think Like a Man? When black women be in the movie, they don't even get to be on the poster. Not when Tyler Perry make the poster, black women in the forefront. 3 black, gorgeous, beautiful sisters. And instead, y'all looking at the context and the content of the movie like it's a documentary. Like it's a fucking documentary. It's not a documentary. It's not a documentary. It's a fucking movie. It's a movie with 3 black women starring in the movie, getting paid millions of dollars, looking good, getting jobs when black women getting fired. What do we got to do? What do we got to do? Foxy says, see, no, I agree. Sea Turtle has that. We'll see, humans are born with, and Taylor has no pay anybody millions for one. Tyler Perry has never paid anybody millions for one movie. I don't know how much Taraji getting paid. I hope she getting compensated, but Taraji did 2 or 3 movies with Tyler Perry, so I would say over that time, I would hope she's made millions. You know, and despite that, for the people upset at Tyler Perry, there is no white man jumping out, putting black women in movies and leading roles and putting them on the poster, putting money and marketing and good content behind black women, not just putting black women with their booty out, not just putting black women being violent and ghetto. In that movie, we saw black police, black bank executive, black female police, running everything, black female bank executive. It's perception is a motherfucker. Because it's all about perspective and perception. Vanessa said hi. Hi, Vanessa. Because maybe you didn't see the black females working in the bank. Maybe you didn't see the black head of the bank was also a female. Maybe you didn't see that. Maybe you didn't see the black person running the police and the hostage negotiations was also a black woman. Maybe you didn't see that. I saw that and I was impressed. And then you know what else I saw? That is our reality in Atlanta and in Oakland. You see black women. My auntie ran the bank. That was 20 years ago. That's old. That ain't new. That ain't nothing. My auntie do magic shit now. That was when I was a kid, she ran the bank. That's old shit. I work at Kaiser for 20 years. I've seen black women do amazing things. So when I see this, this is what I want to see. Because this is what I see every day in Oakland and Atlanta. I see black women heading the bank, black women at the police. My cousins work for police, sheriff, police. Look it up in Oakland. Black women being head of police. This is what I see. Kamala Harris, black female district attorney of San Francisco, prosecuted me several times because I was a dummy. I fell out of a coconut tree. Black woman. This is what I'm not just making it up. This is what I seen growing up. Black woman. This 20 years ago, she was the DA. This not even new. So I don't understand why people don't understand it. I saw a black woman running the police, black woman running the bank. Do y'all remember when Ryan Coogler went into the bank in Atlanta? This was a real story. And they called the police. They thought he was trying to rob the bank because they didn't know who he was. Do you know who called the police on Ryan Coogler when he went into the bank to do banking in Atlanta? It was a black woman. Do you know who was running the whole bank? Black women. This is real life. Real life. Ryan Coogler went into a bank in Atlanta, ran by all black women. They called the police because they didn't know who he was. Anybody? Let me see in the chat. Oakland is a hellhole. No, it's not. We love the Bay Area. And it ain't going to be no Bay Area hate. Tiger, you going on timeout. You going on for that Bay Area hate. We ain't doing no Bay Area hate. Carl said, what are you even rambling about? You can go on timeout too, Carl. See, no, you literally said suck and reflect. Your Googling skills are horrifying. Tiger said, black women running the police, but the rest of Oakland is a porta potty. No, it's not. Oakland is a beautiful place. I don't know what you know about Oakland. What part of Oakland are you familiar with? Oakland is a gorgeous place. See, this is what I talked about, Orinda. And that's when I debunked that Diddy case that they so-called when Drewski was sliding on the back of a woman in Orinda, California. That's why I said to this person, do you really know Oakland? Oakland is gorgeous. Orinda is gorgeous. Moraga is gorgeous. Happy is gorgeous. Tell them about Happy. Tell them about Moraga. Tell them about Orinda. Huh? Sausalito. Monterey. Huh? Downtown Oakland, East Oakland. Downtown Oakland and East Oakland is not the same, bro. You said I lived in Oakland for 20 years. That you know what our people say about people like you blew here, we grew here. You know what I'm saying? What high school did your mama and daddy go to? What high school did you go to? If you really from Oakland, you probably from Fairfield or some shit like that. You ain't from Oakland. Mammy Boy said, hey, leave Oakland, California alone. Thank you. Thank you. Leave Oakland, California alone. This sucker ain't from Oakland, man. You don't know about this 41510 shit, man. You ain't not from Oakland, man. You ain't say nothing about no taco truck. You ain't say nothing about no Oakland, man. East Oakland is attached to downtown Oakland. Man, shut up, man. Deep East? Deep East? When we say East Oakland, we talking about Deep East. On the hat, it say Deep East. 100 is, damn near San Leandro. We ain't talking about, I'm talking about damn near San Leandro. I'm talking about 165th. We said Deep East. That's what we say, Deep East. That's why it's called Deep East Oakland. He ain't even talking about, he said, I live near Barry. That ain't Oakland. Go to Lake Mary right now. The other white people walking their dogs, man. That ain't Oakland. That's why he ain't mentioned no turf. He didn't say the murder dubs. He didn't say Ice City. He didn't say the Ville. He didn't say nothing. He didn't say 11. He didn't say none of that shit, man. He didn't say none of that. He didn't say Bush Ride. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say none of that, man. He didn't say... It's in a song, man. You could have just quoted the Mr. Fab, right? You didn't say nothing. Oh, Lake Mary. Are you, that sound like an AI. Hey, who is that? Mammy Barnes. My partner, Andre Barnes. I'm a Lakeview cat. So my partner, Andre Barnes. Shout out to you. But he didn't say nothing that we would be familiar with, Mammy. He didn't say nothing we would be familiar with that would qualify him. He said nobody said, you AI, right? You is AI. Let me hear Mac Dre lyric. Let me just hear, what's your favorite Mac Dre song right now? He said, what is your favorite Mac Dre song? Come on, man. What's your favorite Mac Dre song lyric right now? Give it to me. I need to hear a favorite Mac Dre song, favorite Mac Dre lyric. Too late, man. Too late, man. Too late. He said huge ego. I just wanted to know about your favorite Mac Dre. That's all. You said you from Oakland, man. You know, what's your favorite Mac Dre? You know what I'm saying? What's your favorite Mac Dre? That's all. What we got over here? I just want to know, what's your favorite Mac Dre? His drizzle right here, right? This Drizzle Washington right here. Who is that, right? That's Drizzle Washington right there, right? That's Drizzle Washington right there, right? Who is that right there, right? Huh? Who is that? This is Frisco Bay shit. If you really with the shit, right? If you really with this Frisco Bay shit, right? This ain't even, you know what I'm saying? It ain't hard to do this. I got hella shit, right? Look, check it out, right? This is Frisco Bay shit, right? What you talking about? What you talking about, right? What else we got? I ain't gonna get on it. I ain't gonna get on it, right? I got Tupac. Where's Tupac? I got Tupac up here. He go Tupac with Biggie right here. He go Tupac with Biggie right here. Hold on. I'll just bring it over here. Tupac with Biggie right here, right? Here we go. There go Tupac Shakur right there. For the Oakland people, man. Tupac Shakur. He right next to Big, man. Tupac Shakur. And we used to go to Cow Palace, man, and watch the WWF. It was WWF when I was a kid, man. You know what I'm saying? Ice Cube, Big, DMC, Jam Master Jay, Whitney Houston, Prince. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's just a couple, man. Who's that? We just talk about movies. That's Jordan Peele, right? Oh, wait a minute. Bay Area. Hold on. Bay Area. Who is that? Bay Area. Huh? Bay Area. Hold on. Bay Area. That was her. Bay Area. Yeah, I know about. See, no, say answer the. I'm going at it in the chat. There's a witness. Houston, Funko Pop. Yeah, man, Whitney Houston. It's hard. You can't get it no more though. You can't. And then you see my Prince. Prince had the raspberry beret, the blue suit with the clouds on it. You didn't see Prince with the white guitar. He wants to do a Diddy. Put Bobby Brown up there. Oh, okay, hold on. Hold on. Here you go. Uncle Bobby. Uncle Bobby. Uncle Bobby right there. You said put Bobby Brown up there. That's Uncle Bobby right there. M'Baku. M'Baku. Yeah, okay. So just a little something. Thank y'all for hanging out with me today, man. Make sure y'all hit the like, share, and subscribe button. We're gonna be talking about Diddy. Soon as the verdict come in, we gonna chop it up. Soon as the verdict come in, I'll be back and we'll chop it up some more. You know, Frisco Tenderloin District. See, no, what you know about the Frisco Tenderloin District, man? He said Frisco Tenderloin District, man. You know what? I was thinking about the other day, the Too Long Cafe. My cousin Kev used to be, shout out to Kev, big drama, rest in peace, man. My cousin Kev used to be in front of the Too Long Cafe. And the Too Long Cafe wasn't Chinese, it was a different, and so in San Francisco, we got all type of different Pacific Islanders. It's not just Mexican. You know what I'm saying? It's El Salvadorian, it's Puerto Rican, it's Oaxacan, Jalisco, Guatemala. It's different people from everywhere. You got to know that. You can't just call everybody Mexican. You can't just call everybody Chinese. So the Too Long Cafe wasn't Chinese. It was a different type of, I don't know if it was Korean, but you know, you got Szechuan. But Too Long Cafe had this yellow saffron fried rice. It was the best shrimp fried rice I ever had. And I know good Chinese food. You ask any comedian that come to California, they eat the Chinese food. Too Long Cafe, Tenderloin, San Francisco, California. Saffron fried rice. It was yellow. And that's why I say it was part of that. I don't know if it wasn't Chinese. It was a saffron fried rice. And they had these egg rolls, these big ass egg rolls. Man, it was so good. Man, my mama used to bring me there. Rest in peace, Mama Shirley. But I tried to recreate it because they got this yellow rice. Y'all ever get the yellow rice in the bag at Winco? They make a bomb red beans and rice too. It's a bag. It's a burgundy bag and it's a yellow bag. And that's how you get the best yellow rice. If you know about the yellow rice, the saffron rice, the best one is in that yellow little metallic bag at the Winco, or y'all might got Kroger. That's the best yellow rice. So make your fried rice. Make that the day before, put it in the refrigerator, and make fried rice with that yellow. Oh, bring that to the party. Shrimp fried, bring that, and you're going to be shitting on it. Like, what is this? Yellow shrimp fried rice? What you doing? Putting food coloring? Man, I'm telling you, man, best fried rice you ever had, man. Best fried rice you ever had. Somebody said, what are you talking? Well, you coming in late, Blue Lantern. We Green Lanterns over here, man. We Green Lanterns, man. You coming in late. What's a Blue Lantern, man? What planet is you? What's your magical power? What is the magical power of the Blue Lantern? Since you coming in here with that CASE book, Foxy, what did you say, Foxy? I shouldn't be surprised. So many people are okay with the level of abuse and violence and criminality people. Well, we not cool with violence and abuse on this channel, Foxy. I know you're going back and forth in the chat with somebody, but you got to be careful with Cino because Cino been here before. Make sure you subscribe, Foxy. Blue Lantern, make sure you subscribe. Tiger Rebellion, make sure you subscribe. Blue is talking to Fox Jesus Christ. Okay. It's my show. Okay, it's my. Thank you guys, man. I just want to say thank you. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a good time hanging out with y'all today. Like, share, and subscribe. Everybody, Foxy, C-No, Tiger. That was funny though. You got the OG. It's not hard to get the OG. You got the OG. Y'all been getting me today. Y'all been lighting me up in the chat. Y'all have been lighting me up in the chat. Y'all have been lighting me on fire in the chat. So respect to the chat. Respect the chat, man. Listen, bro. Listen. Respect the chat, bro. Hey, donate. There is a donate button. I like money. Donate, like, share, subscribe, super chat. You see that? It says $. $, mean money. Money. M-O-N. The D, the I, the D, the D, the Y is Diddy. It's Diddy. The D, the I, the D, the D, the Y is Diddy. It's Diddy. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I'm out. Singapore rice. Mrs. Perfect Time said Singapore rice. Singapore rice. Thank you. All right, you guys. Yeah, I remember the Singapore rice. And then what was the thing that Peaks 100 put us? It was a Singapore noodles. And it wasn't rice. It's the Singapore noodles that Peaks put us on. That shit was good. Shout out to Peaks 100. Shout out to Mrs. Perfect Timing. Cino said I'm pre-law in 3 years. Congratulations, bro. Salute. Keep going. Complete that shit. Do your shit. You know, you're gonna be successful. And I support your success. Thank you for participating in my success by watching and commenting on my live stream. Truly appreciate it. Truly thank all of you for watching. Again, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. And again, we were simply talking about the Cash App to remind people to Cash App and donate to the channel. So thank you for everybody watching. Oh, it says my mic unplugged. My mic, I believe it. So I'm going to shut it down. Salute.